Hi folks, Wendy here. Okay, so I'm going to have a chat with you today a little bit about fibromyalgia. This is a condition that I have. It's a condition that has changed my life. I'm not going to go into too much of the medical background. I will a little bit, but I'm not a medical person. I can only tell you of the little or the bit I know, and things are changing all the time as far as research. And when I was first diagnosed with fibromyalgia, what they said they thought was the cause of fibromyalgia, they're now saying differently. To be honest, it's a very a lot of doctors know how to treat it, or even some are aware of it. Some of them don't even believe in it. Some doctors think it's all in the patient's head, when I can tell you it is not all in the patient's head. So, okay, so if I give you a little bit of history about how I was diagnosed with fibro. I'll try not to go into too much in depth, about my... But anyway, I've had osteoarthritis for many years. I first started with osteoarthritis when I was 17, and I had an acute form of it, a very acute form of it called Chondromalacia Patella. It's quite common in young children or young teenagers predominantly get it, but I had a very acute form of it, and it meant I had to have both my kneecaps taken out with no replacements. Now at the time they didn't give me any knee replacements because I was still growing, and they said that I would, if they gave it to me then, that I would need it redone, and because of my age they weren't going to do that then. And to be honest, that's what I've been hearing every 10 years for the last, I'm 53 now, and I'm still hearing I'm too young. So, but it's nice to be told I'm too young for something. But anyway, so that's so I have got osteoarthritis as well. I have it in my shoulders, my hip, my fingers. So if you notice, my fingers are deforming, so they go like this one goes and bends over that way, this goes up, bends over that way, this one goes up and bends every which way, and also on this hand. Now I was getting the most excruciating pain in my hands that I've ever felt. So painful. They would burn, they would be horrendous, so horrendous, painful, burning. It would feel like my joints were on fire. I can't actually make a fist. That's about as far of a fist I can go. I can bend this one tighter, but not as good as this one. And that finger there, this one, that's as far as it will go. This, my thumb's okay. That joint won't bend at all. That one will go so far, that's as far as that will go. Whereas these, that one, that's as far as that one will go. So my right hand's worse than my left hand. Now I went to the doctors and I complained basically of my hands were being so painful, and she referred me to a rheumatologist. And so I went along, and he sort of had a look, and we went through everything. I had the pain in my hand. They thought it was carpal tunnel, so I had a carpal tunnel operation, which in actual fact, I will say, made the pain in my hands worse. So I was supposed to have had the left one done as well, but because this one, this is just me, I'm not saying, I know my sister-in-law's had carpal tunnel operations done, and hers are absolutely brilliant, but I think it was a misdiagnosis. And although it stopped I did have carpal tunnel, but I've got muscle wastage on my thumb muscle there, my muscle I got muscle wastage there. So I do think I did, or I have got some sort of carpal tunnel problem, but it's not what was causing the acute pains that I was getting in my hands, is what I'm trying to say. So it did stop the pins and needles that I was getting, horrendous pins and needles, but because the pain in my hands, it didn't improve the pain. I didn't actually have my left one done. It just wasn't worth it for me. And my right hand was my worst hand. So anyway, so the doctor sort of didn't really know why my hands were so painful, and you know, he sort of did I don't know, like an MOT, and it was sort of like discovered that like overlying pain that I had, I couldn't stand being touched on the tops of my arms or in between my shoulder blades. It was like, it's so hard to explain, but it was a bit like, it's like a prickly, it felt like a prickly heat. It felt like I'd been, like a prickly heat sunburn, that if someone touches my back, in the middle of my back or the tops of my arms. So that's when the doctor first mentioned to me that he thought I might have fibromyalgia. Now, a lot of fibromyalgia sufferers, some of the symptoms that are, it's short for it is FMS, which is fibromyalgia syndrome, okay, and it causes pain all over the body. So some of the pain is, it's in an increased sensitivity to pain, fatigue, extreme fatigue. Now, fatigue, and I'm not talking about, it's not the same fatigue as you know, having a late night and you're tired and you know you haven't had enough sleep. This is a total different fatigue. This is a fatigue where I can sleep all day, I can wake up and feel like I've been awake for a week. It is so debilitating, and it has totally changed my life. It has totally ruined my quality of life, and also my family's quality of life. So don't let the you know, me putting makeup on my face fool you. One of the things that fibromyalgia is one, and even a lot of conditions that are very similar, is it's an invisible illness. So there's no cuts, there's no bruises, there's nothing you can physically see, but it is very real to the person that's got it. You know, it's not in their head. So they need a very supportive family, very supportive doctor. They are key. And I know a lot of people they've had their marriages split up because their partners just don't understand that, you know, the condition. There's no real support out there for families and partners, and or even children, you know, older ones. They don't get it, because as far as they're concerned, you look okay. So they just, you know what teenagers are like. They're all interested in their own world, so they just think you're being lazy or it's all in your head or whatever. The worst thing you can say to somebody who's suffering from an invisible illness, it's all in your head. Well, I would say it from about 10 feet away. No, I'm only joking. So muscle stiffness is another one. A good example, this morning I woke up and because I don't get, it's not a restful sleep I'm getting, but I'll wake up in the morning and feel like I've had a fight with a number 9 bus throughout the night. And it's not because I'm thrashing about or anything, it's just the muscle stiffness is horrendous. You know, if I sit down and try and get up, the muscle stiffness is horrendous. If I stand up too long, the muscle stiffness is horrendous. There's also, it causes problems with mental processing, which is also, I call fibro fog or fibro brain. And it's to do with memory and concentration. That's why if I'm making a video, I do say a lot in my videos, a lot, because I know what I want to say in here, but getting it to go from here to here is not always easy. Sometimes it gets from here and then along the way it gets translated and something else wants to come out here. So it's like I have to believe me, there's plenty of times where it still comes out here the wrong way, and I'm thinking, oh, I don't believe I've just said that, because that's not what I wanted to say, or how I wanted to say it, or, you know, it's just... I've had some really funny conversations. The biggest one I had was in a bank once, where I stood there 5 minutes having a conversation with this guy, and then he said to me, oh, you know, do you want to give me a card? And I'm going, what card? And he looked at me like I was a total loon. So memory and translating words and sentences from here out of my mouth is really, really difficult. So I do say a lot. There's also a lot of underlying things that go along with fibromyalgia, irritable bowel syndrome, a restless leg syndrome. I have both of those. Stress can make it worse. Doing too much can make it worse. I went to a pain clinic, and they said to me, oh, you need to learn about pacing. And pacing basically means is just because you have a good day, don't try and do too much, because if you do, you'll pay for it for the next 3 days. So it's learning to do a little if you can. If you can't, don't do it, because if you force yourself to do it, you will pay for it. And I don't take day by day, I take hour by hour, half an hour by half an hour. 1 minute I can be okay, and the next minute I could be in pain. The feeling of exhaustion is overwhelming. It comes over you in like a wave. It's really, really awful. They don't really know what causes fibromyalgia. Now, when I was first diagnosed, which was about 3 years ago now, and I went to a pain management clinic, and I went to like a little seminar thing, and they said that it all stemmed to do with the back of the brain, and I can't even think what it was called. What it's called, it's to do with your the nerves at the back of the brain, which sends out pain receptors to different parts of the body, and they're all out of whack, and that's why we're more sensitive to touch and to cold and to heat. It's like it's all those sort of things that are to do with the pain. They've actually, in looking into it, what I've read just lately, is they're now thinking that it's more I don't know, it's to do with the hands. And that's what a lot of people with fibro do, have really painful hands. And it's a lot of chemical stuff that, and you'll have to read it. And I will put a link to the paper that I think it's 2 Dutch guys or 2 guys from Denmark that have done a study. And they did a study on some people, and measuring certain chemicals in the hand produces. I don't know. I don't know. Ooh, I just grunted. Oops. So yeah, they do medication wise. A lot of people are on medication for fibromyalgia. I myself, I take gabapentin twice a day. I take naproxen twice a day. I take omeprazole, because naproxen is an SID, I think that's what it's called, and it to stop you from getting stomach ulcers. I take paracetamol 4 times a day, and I also take citalopram, which is an antidepressant. I'm not ashamed to say that I take an antidepressant. They tend to, over in the UK anyway, 9 times out of 10 always give somebody who's on fibro who has fibro, sorry, some form of antidepressant to help with the symptoms. I've never really been explained why, apart from the fact that people with fibro, I suppose, tend to be fairly depressed because it's such a debilitating illness. So I'm on citalopram. They also try and help with pain management, as in, I also have fentanyl, which is a morphine patch, and all those pain medications that I'm on, and I still get pain daily. In fact, I've got a medicine review on Tuesday of next week, so I'm not quite sure. I don't want to up anything, because I take 7 at a time anyway, as it is. So, yeah, how it affects my life. Well, it affects my life because I don't go out anywhere. I don't see anybody. The only people I see are my family. Any friends that I had before I was diagnosed and was more active have gone. All the friends that I was there for, I'm not bitter. I understand. But all the friends who I thought were really good friends who would be around no matter what are no longer around. They've often, got fed up waiting for me to feel okay, I suppose. But I can't help, the way I feel. I can't help the fact that some days I can't get out of bed. I can't help the fact that, that I can't walk very far. I can't help the fact that, so, I don't blame these people, for no longer knocking on my door and seeing if I want a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. I don't blame them. Though I did get I was a little bit bitter, I suppose, in the very beginning. Bitter's not the word. I was hurt. Because people who I thought were my friends then, who didn't bother anymore, and a couple who I called a sister, we grew up together. I don't see her at all. I was no longer useful. I was there when she needed me, but when I needed a friend, there wasn't anybody there. So that did affect my social or friendships. It affects my quality of life in as much as I'm slightly agoraphobic now. I get almost, I'm not saying I don't go out, but I get almost panic if I have to go out, whether it be short time or, to the doctors, or, if I have to go to my son's to see a school play. I have to really, really force myself to go, and I really don't want to. I really don't want to go out, because every step I take hurts. Every seat I sit in, it hurts. It's just, everything's just uncomfortable. Everything's just so difficult. And, just going to watch an hour or half an hour school play seems like nothing, but it is so big to someone who's got fibro. Just to sit there, by the time they finished watching it and come back, I'm exhausted. And I haven't done anything, but I'm exhausted. So that's really tough on my kids. It's tough on my youngest especially. He actually goes to a young carers. He's quite isolated. There are times when he's scared to, like recently, I had a really, really bad cold. Really bad. I had no voice, no nothing, and he worries. He doesn't want to go to school because he doesn't want to leave me. So it's really tough on him, and it's really tough on the others. They're sort of like, well, there's only my 19-year-old now here, and my 11-year-old. He doesn't understand my 19-year-old. He just, I mean, he knows. They all know, but they've got their own lives to lead, you know. And I don't want to, or try not to, or don't even want to sort of burden them. But there are times when, if it's a choice between burdening my 11-year-old and burdening my 19-year-old, it will be my 19-year-old. So yeah, it is really tough for family. It's tough for partners. You know, it's tough for the intimacy side of it. And I'll be honest, I couldn't give a flying fig whether I ever did it again. Couldn't get the thought, and I'm being honest. Not because I don't care, but just the physical exertion. It's just horrendous. Like I said, it affects me going out. It affects me. I can't even walk around a supermarket, because by the time I finish walking around the supermarket, I can't even get back in the car. I'm in so much pain. With stiffness and the joint pain. So yeah, this is not a woe is me video. This is just a video for all the other guys out there who have fibro, for their families and loved ones, just so they know that they're not on their own. They're not alone. There is, I would say, predominantly more male than females. Sorry, rewind that. More female than male that get fibro, but there are males that have fibro. So don't think it's just a women's thing. It's not. There are men that get fibro, but they are predominantly more females, and it's normally between the ages of 30 and 50, I think it is. And nearly 1 in 20 people are now being diagnosed with fibro. So, I mean, I don't know whether it's a sign of our times, or I don't know if it's because of what we eat. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure cavemen didn't go around having fibro. I'm sure cavemen didn't go around with half the stuff that, you know, that we have nowadays. You know, I don't know. Are we what we eat? I don't know. It's a mystery, and the thing is, it's a mystery to the doctors as well. And unfortunately, what's happening is I hate going to the doctors. I always feel like a hypochondriac. I always feel like that if I have something wrong, they're either going to say to me, "Oh, you know, here she comes again, Mrs. Hypochondriac," or they're going to blame everything that symptom that I'm giving them on fibro, and not listen to, you know, any concerns I have, and just say, "Oh yeah, you've got fibro, so that's what that is," and send me on my merry way. And you know, and that's, you know, I don't go to the doctors unless I have to. You know, sorry. You know, so it's just yeah, it's just not a good illness. Not a good illness at all. And you know, I don't really know what to say as far as your partners go, or getting them to understand. But I think education is key. If you have to, you know, print them off some gumph and say, look, you know, read this, show them statistics, show them, you know, that what's wrong is not in your head, that it is an illness. It's not an in your head illness. It's a physical illness that affects a lot of people, and I do feel so much for, because it is more predominantly females that get it, the struggle that they have to sort of like continue day to day to do even the barest of things like cooking a meal. Or I couldn't stand and cook a meal to save them. I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. So, you know, my luckily all my boys, I got 5 boys, all know how to cook. They've been well trained. So either my oldest will cook, or my other half will cook, or I get takeout. You know, hence the double chins. But yeah, so I hope that this has helped you guys, not so much information wise, but just to sort of let you know that you're not the only one, that you know, there is other people that have this condition. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments, and in I don't know, say about a week's time, I will come back and do a follow-up video just to answer any questions that you might have, or if any of your family members have any questions, or if there's anything that I've not covered, or you know, as far as you know, how it affects me, or you know, I mean, I craft. I don't craft every day. I can't craft every day. I would love to. I used to, but I can't do it as much as I used to. So I do what I can. I started putting makeup on again because one of the main reasons was for nobody else but me, was because I felt like I was dying before my time, was the reason why I did it. I felt like I was dying in bed, and I just wanted to make, or try and help myself feel better. Because I didn't want to feel like that. I don't want to feel like that. Yeah, so so I started trying to sort of, you know, at least make the outside of me feel a little bit better, or look a little bit better. And it does help. Not every day I feel like putting it on. When I do feel like putting it on, I will. And that's another one of the reasons why I started doing makeup videos, because I have fibro. I'm over 50, and I'm not a makeup artist at all. It's not about me, you know, showing you, or you know, telling you so much of. I can only show you how I put it on for me, and you know how it, you know, what I've learned. By no means is it could be the right or wrong way. I just know what, you know, and I've just learned either over the years or from watching other YouTube videos. So yeah, well, yes, like I say, I'm not a makeup artist. I am definitely a crafter. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there if I sniffle too much. Thank you so much for watching, and like I said, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments, and I will make a note of any questions that anybody has, and I will do a follow-up video in about a week's time. So thank you so much for following my channel. Like I said, this is not about sympathy or anything like that. It's just a little bit, like I said, for you guys. And I keep saying it because I just want to reiterate. I don't want to, you know, keep going over, oh, woe is me, woe is that. It's not about that. It's just about letting you guys know that who have invisible illnesses is not just fibro. There are a lot of invisible illnesses out there. Yeah, that you're not alone. So yeah, so thanks very much for watching, and I love you all. Bye.